Get me that signal. We need more power.
Welcome to another Voice of E board game review. I am your host, Super E, and today I am looking at Sentinels of the Multiverse Enhanced Edition from Greater Than Games. Sentinels is the original superhero card game populated with original characters and villains from the fictional Sentinel comics. The new Enhanced Edition has a lot of upgrades, but do they make a difference? Here's what the back of the box says. A mad scientist holds the world hostage with his terrifying doomsday device. A ruthless alien warlord from a distant galaxy brings his overwhelming army of bizarre minions to conquer planet Earth. A giant rampaging robot cuts a swath of destruction across the coast, destroying major population centers. Who will stop them? You will! Sentinels of the Multiverse is an award-winning cooperative comic book card game in which you and your friends team up as the mighty heroes to thwart the nefarious plans of the villains who threaten the entire multiverse. That's what the back of the box says. Let's take a look inside the box.
Our first look at the Enhanced Edition shows immediately some of the upgrades incorporated into the game. First off, the box is more of a standard size and is 100 times better than the original box. The game now comes with dividers and additionally includes the dividers you need for both the Rook City and Infernal Relics expansion. The box also seems big enough to fit these expansions inside. A new addition are the tokens for hit points and other modifiers. Yay! These were much wanted. Truly a required upgrade. The rulebook has been biggie sized and is now about the size of a regular comic book, rather than the Archie's Digest size it was before. It really looks like a comic. And that's pretty cool. Throw in a couple of baggies for the tokens, and you'll have a complete package. Now for those who haven't played Sentinels. This is not a deck building game, despite the fact that it looks like one. What you have here is a game in which each superhero has their own personal deck of cards that makes them unique. Here's Fanatic's character card. Here is her deck. The villains also have their own decks, so that each game will be distinctly different. Here is Citizen Dawn's deck, and villains have 2 character cards, and they're double-sided. Be careful, some are deadly when they flip, like Citizen Dawn, merged with the power of the sun. There is additionally several decks of environment cards. There are 4 in the base game. These provide challenges by changing the location of the battles. Maybe a few dinosaurs will appear to cause problems. Where's these dinosaurs? I know they're in here. Velociraptor pack. That can't be good. Or some vicious alien weaponry will emerge from the Mars base. There are 4 villain decks, 4 environment decks, and 10 different hero decks included in the box. Now, let's set up the game really quick. Here's a condensed setup of a 3-player game getting ready to begin. Over here we have the Fanatic on the edge here. You can see her hit points. Here we have Tachyon and her hit points, and over here we have the Wraith and her hit points. At the bottom of their cards are their default powers that each of them have. And at the top we have our environment deck, our 2 villain cards and our villain deck. And of course up here are her hit points, and she has 80 to start. Now, once you put everything down, the card tells you what you need to do to set up for Citizen Dawn. At the start of the game, put Citizen Dawn's villain character cards into play. Leader of the Citizens of the Sun side up. So, she has 2 sides. This is the Leader of the Citizens of the Sun side. The other side says, merged with the power of the sun. Shuffle the villain deck and reveal cards until H-1 citizens are revealed. What does that H mean? That means the number of heroes that are in the game. So we have 3 heroes in the game. 3 minus 1 is 2. So until 2 citizens are revealed, put them into play, and then shuffle the other revealed cards back into the villain deck. So let's do that. Not a citizen. Ah, there's Citizen Autumn. Not a citizen. Citizen Hammer. So, the other cards get shuffled back into the deck. We'll just shuffle, like shuffling people shuffle. And then I gotta move these up a little bit so that the 2 citizens can come out. So, as you can see, you already have 2 things that you have to deal with. Now, that is, it says at the start of the villain turn, if there are 5 or more citizens in the villain trash, flip Citizen Dawn's villain character cards. She may only flip once per game this way. So that's how she would flip to her merged with the power of the sun side. So if you kill enough citizens, it's gonna happen. So, believe me, it's gonna happen. And bad things happen until you get her flipped back over. So it's the start of the villain turn, because the game starts with a villain turn. I'll take you through one turn, kind of quickly. So we're starting the play. At the start of the villain turn, it says 5 or more citizens in the trash. Well, there's not, so we don't have to do anything there. Anything else that says start of the villain turn? This one says the end of the villain turn. This says at the end of the villain turn. The next thing that happens is you play a villain card. So I pull a card, flip it over. Devastating Aurora. 1 shot. Destroy all hero ongoing cards. Hey, it's the first turn, there's none out yet. Destroy all equipment cards, destroy all environment cards. Well, we dodged a bullet there. That goes into the trash. It is now the end of the villain turn. We start with the villain's character card, since that was the first one out. Citizen Dawn deals the hero target with the highest hit points H-2 energy damage. Okay, who would have the highest? I believe that is Fanatic over here. 3 minus 2 is 1. So Fanatic drops 1 hit point. And she didn't even do anything yet. The next Citizen Autumn card says at the end of the villain turn, destroy all ongoing cards controlled by the hero with the lowest hit points. Luckily, we don't have any of those out yet. I think we need to get rid of her pretty quick, though. Citizen Hammer says at the end of the villain turn, this card deals each hero target 3 fire damage. That's not good. So, 3 fire damage there. Oh, let's pretend that's 3. 3 there. Let's pretend that's 3. 3 there. So, hasn't even gotten to their turn yet. Already we're taking damage. Ouch. Now it's the heroes' turns. So we're going to start with Fanatic. You start with 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the beginning of your turn, you get to play a hero card. First, you see if anything happens at the start of your hero's turn. If it doesn't, then you get to play a card. Let's say we play Brutal Censure. Fanatic deals 1 target 2 radiant damage. So, she chooses to deal 2 damage to Citizen Autumn because Citizen Autumn stinks. Citizen Autumn starts with 6, but she's now at 4 because she's taking 2 damage. See? And then it also says you may draw a card. So Fanatic gets to draw a card. The next phase is use a power. The only power she has available, and some of these cards, if you play them, they have powers on them. None of these do. There's different card types. There's one-shots. There's ongoing, which are ongoing. There's equipment cards, which are also ongoing, but just a different type of ongoing. And then there's powers. Fanatic's power is Exorcism. Fanatic deals 1 target, 1 melee damage, and 1 radiant damage. So we're going to pick Citizen Autumn to get that damage again, because we got to get Citizen Autumn out of there. We're going to be losing cards like crazy. So that's 2 damage to Citizen Autumn. Then it would go to Tachyon's turn, then Wraith's turn. Oh, no, I skipped a part there. So use the power. Now you get to draw a new card, which is nice. And then it's the end of your turn, so any end of turn things would trigger. End of turn things for the heroes would trigger. Then we go to Tachyon's turn, then Wraith's turn, and then it would be the environment's turn. What happens then is any start of the environment turn things happen. Then you flip an environment card. Oh, that's not an environment card. Then you flip an environment card. River of Lava. At the end of the environment turn, each hero may destroy 1 of their equipment cards. Deal any hero that does not destroy an equipment card H fire damage. So that would be 3 fire damage. At the start of the environment turn, if each player discards the top 3 cards of their deck, destroy this card. So see how this works. Since it's coming out in the before the end of the environment turn, it's going to trigger this first part. So any hero that doesn't destroy 1 of their equipment cards is going to take 3 fire damage automatically. Since none of them have equipment yet, they're all going to take 3 fire damage automatically. And then it's going to go around again, and when we hit the start phase next time, every player has to discard the top 3 cards of their deck, and then this card would go away. Poof, it gets destroyed. But then, of course, you'd be flipping a new environment card. So it's tough. It's a tough game. But it's cool when you win. Trust me, it is really cool when you win. Before I completely forget, the way you win is, in most cases, by getting the villain, supervillain, down to 0 hit points. And then they're defeated, and you win. Hooray! It's not that case with every supervillain, but in most cases that's what it is. Also, if your hero gets down to 0 hit points, they're incapacitated. And you're pretty much doomed. You flip it over to the incapacitated side, and you still get to do an action on your turn, so your spirit is kind of helping out still to win the game. You have a choice of allowing 1 player to play a card, 1 player to draw a card, or 1 player may take a card from their trash into their hand, and that's just Tachyon's powers. Every hero's powers are kind of similar, but they do have some differences in them, and this is their incapacitated mode. So everybody's not sitting around just waiting for whoever's left to finish up the game. They still get to do a little thing to help out during their turn, even if they get toasted. Usually once heroes start dropping off, you're pretty near the end of the game anyway. This is probably the most thematically sound superhero card game that I've seen. The fact that each hero and villain has their own deck means that each one has their own unique powers and abilities, and have to be played in a certain way. It's different from a deck building game where you try to put together an advantageous set of cards in order to win. In this game, cooperation is king. You all need to work together to keep each other alive and deal with the many wrenches that you'll be hurled at you during the course of a game. This is a game that leaves you with stories. When you're done, 1 or more of the heroes are usually dead, and only some excellent or sacrificial moves on the player's part enable them to pull out a win. Or some dastardly event or unlucky twist causes the defeat of our heroes. Luck and skill both play a big part in the game. The last game that I played, the hero Legacy, didn't draw a single power the entire game, leaving him almost completely unable to do direct damage to the villains. Turn after turn, we had to use his default power of adding 1 damage for all of the other heroes' attacks until his next turn. This actually made a huge difference over time. It was an unusual way to play Legacy, but it eventually enabled the heroes to pull off the big win. So do you see what I mean by each game having a story? It's memorable and really thematic. It's fun and can lead to some intense endings. On the negative side, I've had a game or two take longer because some game mechanic interaction made it stretch out past the normal length. With so many possible interactions, it's bound to happen on occasion. The games go quicker once you're familiar with all of the rules, of course. Also, there aren't tokens for everything. One of the cards had the villain immune to whatever type of damage he was hit with. So if you hit him with lightning, he was immune to lightning until you hit him with something else. Then he would be immune to that instead. There aren't any tokens listing all of the damage types so that you can keep track of what type the villain was currently immune to, so we just had to remember. No big deal. Despite these minor quibbles, and it's minor, the game is solid and a great time. Another upgrade they made with the enhanced version is improving the scalability for the number of players, and the game feels much more balanced than the original edition. Overall, if you like battling heroes and villains, then this is the game for you. This enhanced edition really helped the game overall, and I can't wait to try out the expansions. It may be time for Greater Than Games to consider putting together an actual promotional comic book from the fictional Sentinel comics. Maybe with a promotional card included? Thanks for joining me for this review of Sentinels of the Multiverse Enhanced Edition from Greater Than Games. Let me know if you found this review helpful by leaving a comment or sending me an email at Elliott_Miller@voiceofe.com or Mylantis on BoardGameGeek. Make sure to subscribe to the Voice of E channel on YouTube, as I'll have plenty of gaming, entertainment, and comic book coverage this year. It should be a lot of fun. Hey, thanks again, and until next time, keep your mind free.
Get me that signal. We need more power.